I think this is only the beginning of the turnaround. I think we've seen a correction over the past 3 to 4 weeks, position paring back, and ECB are now strongly showing their intentions, and I think the euro is going to start trading towards parity again.
Okay, how quickly are we going to get there? I mean,
well, right now we've of course seen a big move. We may have a bit of consolidation ahead of 110.5. That's the level I'm looking at. If we break through 110.5, 110, I think the bets are on again.
Okay, so you could do a short-term short now if you think that we're going to get down to that level.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a lot of rallies here. I think you've got to be quick to get in, because I think we're on the way down again.
What is the ECB doing here? I mean, is the ECB essentially just trying to move the currency?
Not officially, but I think it helps. I mean, there's no doubt that they are happy with the euro coming off gradually. They don't want any kind of panic. But of course, they are making sure that the interest rate is coming back down where it belongs, in their opinion.
Yeah, we'll be careful what we say there, or else. Central banks don't move monetary policy based on FX. But anyway, getting back to FX, you know, what about, well, that obviously implies that the dollar index is going to be king of the hill once again. Do you expect it to revisit the century mark any time this year?
I think so. I mean, what we're seeing now is back to where we were a couple of months ago. We're seeing euro selling for a while, then we're seeing some dollar buying, then euro selling and dollar buying. So, of course, the euro-dollar relationship is the obvious one. But actually, dollar-yen is breaking up through some technical levels here. We're breaking through 120.5. We're close to the year highs suddenly, and through 122. I mean, we could be on for a little rally there as well.
Okay, if you wanted to get on the bandwagon and express that trend, are there any other sort of crosses that would get a better bang for your buck other than those crosses that we just talked about?
I think euro-dollar is the most obvious one, and sometimes you just got to do the obvious.
What about the yen? When it comes to the GDP numbers this morning, 2.4%, and the consensus was 1.5%. I mean, that's massive.
It's a strong headline, but if you delve into it, and what they really want to see is consumer-driven inflation, and that's not there. Actually, the deflator is down 0.5%, I believe, or 50 basis points.
Consumption looked okay. CapEx was a bit weaker than expected.
Yeah, so all in all, it is a strong headline. We've seen the stock market react positively, but we're still missing that consumer-driven inflation component, which means they can still expand the QQE later on in the year. I think they might, but in the autumn.
Yes, but we've got a guest coming up later talking about emerging markets here in Asia. How vulnerable are the currencies, do you think? I mean, you just painted a bleak picture, at least, well, a great picture for the dollar index. It's going to imply that Southeast Asian currencies are going to get particularly weak? Not particularly. I just think focus is going to be so much more on these, I mean, the Fed and the ECB. It's central bank driven, and that's where the focus is going to be. China, for example, focus is off. The currency itself is going to be pretty stable. That's what they want. You know, we're moving towards the Chinese currency becoming a real reserve currency, and therefore they want it to be stable. They're not participating in currency wars, and they're doing a pretty good job there.
Okay, so if you were to invest in those some of the Southeast Asian currencies that Adam was talking about, which do you think is the safest at this point? I mean, given there's a lot of factors, of course, influencing not only what's going on with interest rates, but also the oil price.
I think if you believe in a stronger dollar story, not because of interest rate hikes, but actually because growth is picking up in the medium term. I know we've had a disappointing quarter, but I guess exporting economies like Korea, Taiwan will at some stage pick up on the back of global recovery, if you believe in that story, and I do.